For over 2,000 years, one book has stood as the ultimate guide to strategy, leadership, and the art of war. The Art of War by Sun Tzu. It's not just for generals. Its wisdom has inspired emperors, entrepreneurs, and modern leaders alike. Here at China Tales, we bring that wisdom to life, not with lectures, but through timeless legends from ancient China. This is Stories of Strategy, learning Sun Tzu through legends. Let the journey begin. The year was 219 AD. The three kingdoms had yet to be officially declared, but their shape was already clear. In the north, Cao Cao held the emperor hostage and ruled with unmatched military might. In the west, Liu Bei had taken control of Yizhou and now turned his gaze northward, seeking to carve out a kingdom of his own. Between them stood Hanzhong, a vital region. Strategically positioned south of Chang'an and north of Shu, Hanzhong was known as the northern gate to Sichuan, the throat of the Central Plains. Whoever held Hanzhong could either threaten the heartland or shield it. To guard this crucial territory, Cao Cao appointed his trusted general Xiahou Yuan, who established a main way camp at Yangping Pass, nestled in the rugged northwest of Hanzhong. Roughly 2 li, just under a kilometer. To the southwest of Yangping Pass, a solitary peak rose high above the valley, Mount Dingjun. It was steep, remote, and deemed too difficult to hold, so it was left unguarded. That oversight would soon change the course of history. Far to the south of Mount Dingjun, in a narrow valley by the Han River, Liu Bei's Shu army had made camp. Feathers on war banners fluttered in the night wind. Moonlight spilled over stone steps, where weary soldiers huddled around fires. For a year, Liu Bei had tried and failed to breach Yangping Pass. The enemy held firm. The terrain was unforgiving, and Shu casualties were mounting. Morale waned. Retreat was on the table. Inside his tent, Liu Bei sat in heavy silence, the weight of defeat settling in. When his chief strategist, Fa Zheng, unrolled a map and changed the course of the war. Fa Zheng pointed to the towering peak near the enemy flank.
"My lord,"
he said,
"Yangping is too well defended. We cannot break through head-on, but Mount Dingjun, 2 li to the southwest, stands alone and is barely defended. If General Huang Zhong can seize that mountain, he will have the high ground. He can monitor the enemy's formations, threaten their rear, and cut their supply lines. The Wei camp will descend into chaos."
Liu Bei nodded, eyes sharp.
Excellent.
That very night, he dispatched the veteran General Huang Zhong with 1,000 elite troops to ascend the mountain under cover of darkness. Mount Dingjun was a natural fortress, its cliffs nearly vertical. But by night, under the veil of shadows, Huang Zhong's troops scaled its face, hauling timbers to erect barricades and makeshift camps at the summit. By dawn, the Wei army looked up in shock. The once barren peak now blazed with firelight. Shu banners whipped in the wind. Xiahou Yuan was stunned. He scrambled to send troops up the slope, but he was too late. The Shu forces had already secured the high ground. From that elevation, they could observe every Wei movement. The tables had turned. Wei soldiers were now forced to fight uphill, disadvantaged and exposed. For days, Huang Zhong made noise but didn't strike. War drums pounded, troops marched in formation, but no attack came. Xiahou Yuan was left on edge, repositioning troops day and night. Eventually, he began to relax, believing the mountain too steep for battle. He thought it was all a bluff. He had no idea that the real assault was still to come. In the gray light before dawn, when the Wei army was dispersed and weary, Huang Zhong attacked. His troops charged down the northeastern slope, heading straight for the rear of the Wei camp. At that moment, Xiahou Yuan was inspecting defenses in the rear. His armor was only half fastened when the alarm rang out. Screams echoed. Torches flared. The mountain roared. Wei soldiers scrambled, arrows rained like a storm. Xiahou Yuan was struck and killed. With their commander gone, Wei forces collapsed. Their ranks shattered. Their morale dissolved. What had begun as a quiet morning ended in total rout. Huang Zhong had chosen his moment with precision. He attacked when the enemy was fatigued, disorganized, and unguarded. With Yangping Pass leaderless and exposed, the Shu army surged forward, sweeping through to Hanzhong city. When Cao Cao received the news, he gasped.
To lose Shahu Yuan is to lose my right arm.
He planned to retaliate but was forced instead to withdraw to the Guangzhong region. Liu Bei quickly consolidated his victory. He occupied Hanzhong, took control of its towns and passes, and forced Wei troops beyond the Qinling Mountains. They would never return. Soon after, Liu Bei declared himself king of Hanzhong. It was the first real step toward founding the kingdom of Shuhan. Sun Tzu said,
"In difficult operations, take the long route as if it were short, turn adversity into advantage."
Liu Bei abandoned direct attacks and seized an unexpected point of leverage. Sun Tzu said,
"The one who arrives first on the battlefield rests in ease. The one who arrives later labors to fight."
Huang Zhong seized the mountain. The enemy could only react. Sun Tzu said,
"Warfare is based on deception. Move when it is to your advantage. Confuse and divide the enemy."
The Shu army used noise and false maneuvers to drain enemy focus and confidence. Sun Tzu said,
"The skilled commander avoids enemy strength and strikes at weakness."
Huang Zhong struck as the enemy let down their guard. The result was decisive. The Battle of Mount Dingjun was more than a battlefield triumph. It was a masterclass in strategy, leveraging terrain, timing, and deception to overcome superior numbers. It shifted the balance of power in Western China and planted the seeds of a kingdom. The victory at Dingjun did not merely take one general's life. It laid the foundation for an empire.